Okay, we're back again. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. I'm Mobile Geezer, and if you're on YouTube, you're on my Mobile Geezer channel, but you might be on Facebook, either on my Mobile Geezer ID or on my George Hayes ID. All three are simulcast at the same time, but we do this every Friday night. We go over some of the stories from last Friday to this Friday, so of the past week, some of the tech stories, of course. And I give you show notes, giving you the articles that we're going to talk about today. Eleanor just popped in here, and she said, "Hey, everybody, hope you've had a good day. Wishing you all a very good weekend, and, of course, a very Merry Christmas." And, of course, I second that. Let me say right now, Merry Christmas to all. And hopefully I'll remember to say it at the end, but I figured I'd better say it at the beginning, old timer. So I hope everybody has a very blessed Christmas and people get what they want. And we remember the main reason what Christmas is all about. And even though December 24th is not Jesus's birthday, since nobody knows when his birthday was, we celebrated on December 25th. So that's a very good thing. So the only one I've seen pop in was Eleanor so far. And Ted, of course, Ted's a photographer on the side. So he's kind of busy with Christmas lights and that kind of stuff. So he already told me he probably wouldn't make it this week. Oh, and last week we had somebody mystery pop in and we didn't know who it was for a minute and then they were gone. Well, I gather that was Ted, and he was trying to get in thinking he would have time to get in, but he didn't really have the time. He was at some kind of event, I guess, taking some kind of photographs. So if you're new here, please type something in the chat so I'll know you're here and let us know where you're from. Other than that, every week I give you show notes of what we're going to talk about, so I'll share that. That's on my web page. And there we go. So that's on mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. If you click on today's date, you'll get the show notes just for tonight's show. And as we do every week, while we're here, we'll give a quick preview of what we're going to talk about tonight. It wasn't a heavy-duty week. Nothing super spectacular happened as far as I know. So I just picked the stories, as I usually try to do, that I think may interest you guys and maybe you won't see everywhere. Now, this was the story you probably did see everywhere. I said Apple loses patent battle, must stop selling Watch Series 9 and Ultra 2. That story was everywhere. I took it from Tech Radar. We'll go over that. And then I did a follow-up, everything about the ban. So they've actually banned Apple Watch Series 9 and Ultra 2 selling in the U.S. So they can't sell it, and they've already stopped. So we'll go over that. That was on The Verge. After that, I came across a story. I remember the Apple said when they announced the Apple Vision Pro that it's going to start selling early next year. Well, I said Apple Vision Pro may be coming sooner than later. They're talking February, so they weren't kidding when they said early next year. So that seems to be what the rumor is saying. Now, this one I found really interesting. Startup says your phone will measure temperature, air quality, UV exposure, and more. So with Qualcomm's new chip, that will be in some of the better phones of 2024, they'll be able to measure all of this stuff. So that's a very, very interesting story. I thought, and I figured you're probably not going to hear that story everywhere. And then I found this story. A company is listening to your smartphone, TV, and other conversations, then selling them. So they're selling your conversations to companies so they can really give you very targeted marketing. So we'll get into that. And that's on Phone Arena. And finally, the last story, this one I found the most interesting of the bunch. World's first fully autonomous AI-powered restaurants. Humans packed food only. So they have humans in the restaurant, but only to pack the food. Everything else is done completely by robots. The cooking, everything. So I just thought that was a pretty interesting story, and I think it has already opened because it was scheduled to open, I believe, this week. So we will get into that. So those are stories we're going to cover. And if by some miracle Mike pops in, I'm sure he's outdoor dashing. But I'll let you know. And occasionally Will pop in and let us know. Will. It sounds like double talk, doesn't it? Will pop in and enhance the conversation very, very much. But Will works straight through all weekend, every weekend. So he's kind of tight. The guy works two jobs. He works one job during the week, and then he works one job straight for 2 days straight every single weekend. So the guy's kind of tired. I can understand that. But if he pops in, I'll let you know. And Ted said he probably wouldn't pop in, but if he does, I'll let you guys know. So we will go on to our first story. And this was kind of the heavy hitter stuff for this week. So Apple loses patent battle, must stop selling Watch Series 9 and Ultra 2. So let's pop over to Tech Radar. Now this is from a few days ago, 4 days ago. Apple is about to stop selling the Apple Watch Series 9 and Ultra 2, which they have done now. Here are all the details by Mac Bolton. It follows a patent dispute about the medical center. So some small company won the battle against Apple so far. So let's get this into reader view, get rid of some of these commercials. Apple has announced in a statement that the company will stop selling, now keep in mind, this is a few days ago, the Apple Watch Series 9 and the Apple Watch Ultra 2 in the U.S., only in the U.S., from Apple's website after 3 p.m. on December 21st, which was yesterday. You will still be able to buy them in store until December 24th, but then physical sales will end also. So up until yesterday, you could buy it on the website. Up until Sunday, you can buy it in stores as long as they have stock. Outside of the U.S., both models will still be available to purchase. Yes, Apple will completely halt sales of the best Apple Watches in the week right before Christmas. According to 9 to 5 Mac, Apple will not be able to restock other retailers. So any store at the likes, I guess it means Best Buy and Target will diminish over time if the ban continues. It's the result of a patent battle between Apple and a company called Masimo. Now, Masimo is winning this battle over the blood oxygen sensor in the Apple Watch, which has resulted in a ruling from the International Trade Commission against Apple. Leading to this ban, though Apple plans to continue fighting the ruling, as you might expect. Here is Apple's official statement. A presidential review period is in progress regarding an order from the U.S. International Trade Commission on a technical, so it's a U.S. International Trade Commission, that's important, on a technical intellectual property dispute pertaining to Apple Watch devices containing the blood oxygen feature. While the review period will not end until December 25th, Apple is preemptively taking steps to comply should the ruling stand, which so far it has. Pardon me. This includes pausing sales of Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2 from Apple.com starting December 21st, yesterday, and from Apple retail locations after the 24th, so Sunday. Apple's teams work tirelessly to create products and services that empower users with industry-leading health, wellness, and safety features. Apple strongly disagrees with the order and is pursuing a range of legal and technical options to ensure that Apple Watch is available to customers. Well, not right now. Should the order stand, Apple will continue to take all measures to return Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2 to customers in the U.S. as soon as possible, which I gather they're working on that. Of the models Apple currently sells, only the Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra 2 include the blood oxygen sensing technology. So it's only the new technologies on these latest watches, which means the Apple Watch SE will continue being sold since it isn't included in the patent infringement case. Of course, with the case having been brought earlier than the launch of the latest Apple Watches, so this started before they launched these watches, previous models would have been included too, but since Apple has discontinued them anyway, there's no ban against them, and Apple says there will be no effect on these models for people who already own them, but there will be an effect on some others. We'll get to that in the next story. At the moment, this banning order is still in the presidential review period. Now, this is important. So it's possible that President Biden could still veto the ban. I'm sorry, I can't help laughing. So here you have one of the richest companies on earth with a president who's known to be one of the biggest on-the-take presidents on earth, and he could still help them. It just cracked me up. President Biden could still veto the ban, meaning Apple could carry on selling it until the next phase of its legal battle with Massimo. Apple has told Tech Radar that it will be able to provide more information after the presidential review period ends on December 25th. So after Monday, they should have more information for us. However, Apple says that it plans to appeal the ruling to federal circuit, and that it's possible the ITC banning order will actually be ruled as a mistake, which means basically the president could overrule all this stuff by the U.S. Trade Representative. Though obviously these are speculative fixes, though history is on Apple's side. Yeah, and the president is over these organizations, so he can order them to make it okay. However, it may not help that Apple also lost a patent ruling fight with a company named AliveCore, which hangs over this whole affair. Didn't know about that. So if you've been waiting to buy someone an Apple's Watch Series 9 or Ultra 2 as a holiday gift, you should probably take action in the next couple of days. So it's too late on the website, but you can still go to Best Buy or whoever has one on hand. Okay. So that's the first story. Okay, nothing new in the comments. So let's get out of this one and we'll go on to the second story, which is more or less a continuation of this. I just said follow up everything about the ban, and The Verge really has everything about it. Apple Watch ban, everything you need to know. Now, this was published yesterday at 5:13 p.m. So this really should have all the latest information. So we'll pop back. And this was by Emma Roth, who does a lot of The Verge's articles. So we're going to re-review, get rid of some of these ads. Updated December 21st, 5:13 p.m. On December 18th, Apple abruptly announced plans to pull 2 Apple Watch. So they didn't have to do that on the 18th, but they did. Models, the Series 9 and Ultra 2 from its website on December 21st, yesterday, and physical store shelves after December 24th. We just went over that. The move came in response to an import ban handed down by the U.S. International Trade Commission, which ruled in October that Apple infringed on patents for pulse oximetry tech made by Massimo, a medical device maker. So it seems like they're infringing on their patents. So you would think if they just paid them a certain amount of money that it would be okay. That's my best guess. This means Apple can no longer import and sell its newest Apple Watch models in the U.S., at least for the time being. The company is already trying to come up with a solution to avoid the ban, but it might take a while until the dispute is completely resolved. Now, I've seen other articles that Apple could do a software update and just stop those things from working, and they could sell the watches again. But I would just pay them whatever money they think they should have coming to them. I mean, come on, it is Apple, so one of the richest companies on earth, if not the richest company on earth. Okay. Now, I said they had everything you wanted to know. Why the Apple Watch is being banned and how Apple can avoid it. Apple Watch Series 9 and Ultra 2 will be unavailable for order in the U.S. after December 21st at 3 p.m. So we know that as of yesterday. Earlier this year, the U.S. International Trade Commission, so we'll just say ITC from now on, ruled that Apple had infringed on 2 patents, so it's 2 patents, from medical device maker Masimo. As a result, the ITC said it would impose an import ban on the Apple Watch Series 9 and Ultra 2 starting December 26th. So that's the day after Christmas, which we all know. At the time, it was hard to believe that this would actually come to pass, but it has. Apple gets sued all the time, and even when it loses, how often does it actually face dramatic consequences? Well, that's true. This doesn't happen very often. Well, now would be one of those times. Experts say that barring a Christmas miracle, it's unlikely that Apple will find a way to escape the ban. And they don't seem to be trying to duck it, as far as I can tell. Case in point, the company shocked everyone yesterday when it decided to preemptively pull the watches from its online store starting December 21st at 3 p.m., which I think was a classy move to me. And after the 24th, they'll disappear from the Apple stores too. So, like I said, the other stores like Best Buy and others who have it, if they still have it on hand, you can buy it. Now, this is the other thing that it's affecting. The Apple Watch ban is preventing repairs of many models. Not only has Apple halted online sales of the Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Ultra Series 2, but the company's ongoing patent rift with medical device maker Masimo has another ripple effect. This I didn't expect until I saw this. Out-of-warranty hardware repairs for several Apple Watch models are now unavailable to customers. So if you have a watch that's out of warranty, you can't get it fixed at this point, which kind of surprises me. That's according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, and he's almost never wrong about anything to do with Apple, who reports that Apple has informed customer service employees that out-of-warranty hardware repairs and whole unit replacements, that's important, for the Apple Watch Series 6 onward. So now we're covering a lot of watches. With the exception of the SE is excluded from this in every possible way, will be unavailable for the duration of the ban imposed by the U.S. International Trade Commission. So that's kind of surprising. If you own one of the models included in the ban and your device is out of warranty, well, you should be extra careful with Apple smartwatch starting right now. Products under warranty or the extended Apple Care Plus program aren't affected by this station. Customers will be notified when hardware replacements are permitted, so you can't get it fixed unless you have an Apple Watch SE, which my Apple Watch is, so I'm good. So just wanted to go over that. I'm not going to go every single thing, but wanted to go over the follow-up to the first story. So let's get out of here. Let me take a quick look. Okay, nothing new in the comments, and nobody else is coming. So we're going to have a short night, folks. And I guess being Christmas weekend, that's probably a good thing. So I'm going to go down to the next story. And I think a few people might be surprised how early the Vision Pro may start selling. Apple Vision Pro may be coming sooner than later. This is on The Verge, so let's go take a look. If you've got $3,500, this might be for you. Apple reportedly plans Vision Pro launch by February. Apple's $34.99 mixed reality headset may be just weeks away from launch. Yeah, kind of surprising to everybody, I think. I don't think anybody thought it would be that early. So let's go into review of some of these ads. And this was from 2 days ago. Apple's June announcement that it would launch the Vision Pro headset early next year, in quotes, could be very early. Again, Mark Gurman, as Bloomberg's Mark Gurman reports, things are lining up for the device to launch by February. Like I said, he's almost never wrong. He says, we shouldn't expect another launch event, which is understandable for a $3,500 device that will probably have a limited supply. But bringing this to market is a major undertaking that means preparing Apple Store employees to guide new users, adjust fitting, and deal with prescription lens options. So they're saying it won't be an event. I guess it'll just be an announcement on the website, maybe. That's my guess. Launching the first new Apple hardware platform in years includes new software with Vision OS. Yeah, I think so. And Gurman is already pointing to its next version, which should arrive later in 2024. Yeah, a lot of people were speculating that the cheaper version would come along right after it, along with the usual Mac and iPhone software updates. So when you get the Mac and iPhone event, hopefully the next version will be there too. Another element is the recent release of iOS 17.2, which we all just got, which enables the iPhone 15 Pro to capture 3D included spatial videos in 1080p resolution at 30 frames per second, and you'll need a headset to play them back in full detail. That's right. Pardon me. Developers are also being prepared for the launch. Yeah, they have to be, with a note sent out today telling them to get ready, which could include software made specifically for use in virtual and mixed reality environments, or the iPad and iPhone apps to which the Vision Pro will also have access. Well, I think it's good they're kind of letting the developers know basically 2 months in advance, which is good. Of course, any number of elements could cause a delay, but the report claims production in China has been running at full speed. So they've been getting ready for this, obviously, for weeks, with plans to have retail units ready by the end of January. So February is right on target, ahead of their arrival at retail. So it looks like early February to me. So kind of surprising, but they said early 2024, and they weren't kidding. So anybody that's got $3,500 to drop on, and of course it is a fascinating product. If I had $3,500 to spare, I'd probably get one too, but I don't. So that's one story you may not have heard everywhere else. And nothing new in the comments. Now we're going to get to another story that you really probably haven't heard. Startup says your phone will measure temperature, air quality, UV exposure, and more. And this was on CNET. This to me was a pretty fascinating story. Can your smartphone test air quality? This startup thinks so. And this was from 3 days ago by David Lum. Next year's leading Android phones will be able to measure smoke, temperature, UV exposure, and more, this startup says. That's pretty fascinating stuff, I think. And I think a lot of people would be interested in that. Let's go into review. Next year's leading Android phones, so the ones that have the latest chip, I think, will be able to measure smoke, temperature, UV exposure, and more, the startup says. Top smartphones can take amazing photos these days, but that's not all their high-powered cameras can do. A startup has repurposed the suite of sensors in leading Android smartphones to measure air quality, smoke levels, and more, giving users an idea of how safe their surroundings are. Pretty important stuff, I think. A startup called Mobile Physics, notice there's no space there, which it's going to come a little further down. There's a difference. So the company is Mobile Physics, no space in between. On Tuesday, announced that its new air monitoring technology called, note the space, Mobile Space Physics. So the company is Mobile Physics, but their new technology is mobile physics with a space in between. A little confusing, but had to point it out, which is supported, and this is the key, by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset that Qualcomm announced earlier this year. So it's a new chip that makes this possible. Phone makers can opt to implement mobile physics tech, and if so, make it available in an app pre-installed on phones. So I guess on phones. So I guess every phone manufacturer is going to have to turn this on in some way with the new chip. Otherwise, it's not going to be there, which means it's going to be some resources and some money involved in paying developers to do this. Now, the mobile physics company is focused on bringing this functionality to as many people as it can. Chairman and Nobel Prize winner Roger Kornberg told CNET over emails. I'm guessing if I do end up getting the OnePlus 12, it's going to be there because that is the chip it's going to have. Its technology can measure, and also the Galaxy S24. Where was I? Okay. Its technology can measure so-called PM 2.5 pollutant particles smaller than 2.5 microns across. Well, that's tiny stuff. Passively when you use the phone, which could be helpful to most people on the planet. So it's the kind of thing I would suspect that you're going to feel it in your lungs, but they're too small to see, but you're certainly going to be able to feel it. So this is probably good technology to have, which could be helpful to most people on the planet. 99% of the world's population breathes air exceeding the World Health Organization standard. That's interesting. I'm not surprised at that, though, Kornberg said. So we're breathing a lot of stuff that we have no idea. So this would probably help us know. Pardon me. More people die from this exposure to PM 2.5 than from any other cause of death, including cancer, COPD, heart disease. Wow. You name it. Kornberg said, I had no idea. It affects every human cell, tissue, and organ in ways we don't yet understand. And that's the problem. Being human, we don't, we're not smart enough to understand everything. But since they're making progress in understanding that we breathe this stuff, probably good to know that we can detect it. Much like how Apple has used Apple Watch sensors to measure new health metrics like blood oxygen, which they're not doing right now. Mobile physics uses smartphone sensors and cameras. I didn't even realize this went back to the previous story. Mobile physics uses smartphone sensors and cameras to determine ambient environmental factors, including air quality, smoke levels, ultraviolet exposure, temperature, and others. So really good stuff. Even while the phone is in a pocket, that is really good. So hopefully the app will just tell you right away as soon as you take it out of your pocket. Mobile physics does these scans in the background while people check emails or otherwise have their phone out of their pocket. I think this is, people complain about stuff that phones do when you're not using it and you don't have it turned on. This is a good thing to do, whether or not you have it turned on, in my opinion. The app will notify users when their surroundings turn hazardous. That's good. From nudging, that's good. To get undercover after staying in the sun too long and telling them to open a window or turn on an air purifier to improve air. This is good stuff. Air quality. According to a press release, the smoke monitor can be set to run overnight to scan for danger while people sleep. That is awesome. Ultimately, this is another way for phones to watch out for owners. I think this is great technology. Let me see who's popped in here. Oh, Annette's popped in here. Hey, Annette. Merry Christmas. I already said that once, but I'm going to make sure I say it again. And Annette says this thing, everyone have a great weekend and a blessed Christmas. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm thinking this is great technology in the upcoming phones. While no phones have been confirmed to come with pre-installed mobile physics, the company has tested it on the Google Pixel 8, that's good, and Xiaomi 11 Ultra, which I think is their latest Xiaomi, both of which have the basic sensors and specific VL53L8 time of flight sensor, don't know that, from ST Microelectronic that are required to run the air scanning technology. So I gather the mobile physics app has this in it to do this technology scanning. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 launched in October with much fanfare for its on-device generative AI capabilities. And while Mobile Physics doesn't, that's the company, doesn't expressly harness that capability, better edge AI implementations could reduce the time needed to take measurements. And as phones add more sensors and cameras, so too does Mobile Physics Toolbox grow the parameters it can measure and improve the accuracy of its findings, Kronberg said. So it's going to be interesting to see which phones turn this stuff on and which phones don't that have the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Okay, so that's crucial as the world isn't taking the dangers of poor air quality seriously enough. Yeah, based on what he said, that's probably very true. And it's not just in visibly polluted areas, but everywhere we live, Kronberg stressed. While frying a steak, cleaning the floors, standing next to a bus, we're being exposed to pollutants. Now, of course, it's in his interest to kind of scare us with this stuff, but hopefully he's telling the truth. One day, when we look back at our lack of control of air quality, we'll be just as ashamed at our failures as we are at governments who fail to protect people from known dangers of cigarettes, he said. Yeah, that could very well be true. I don't know if he's right, but if it is true, then this is great technology. We are already there with air quality. We just don't all fully grasp how serious the situation is, Kronberg said. Mobile Physics, that's the app, is the first step, a big step towards solving this problem. Now, here's a correction from 2 days ago. This story initially misstated how the Mobile Physics technology, the app, will be implemented on phones. It will be supported by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, and phone makers can choose to integrate, this is important, to integrate Mobile Physics on their phone. So they're going to have to turn it on their phones, which will be usable via a pre-installed app. So it sounds like very easy for the phone makers. They just have to turn it on. Doesn't sound like there's any developer work involved or paying anybody anything extra. Just turn it on. So sounds pretty simple to me. But if he's right about the seriousness of the air quality stuff that we haven't gotten into enough yet, then this is probably great technology. So good job, guys. This is one of those stories I'm glad I brought to you guys because it sounds like it might end up being kind of important. Let's see, okay. Nothing new since CNET came in. Okay, so we're going to be a quick night, guys. Take a quick sip here. Another story I'm thinking you probably haven't seen everywhere. A company is listening to your smartphone. You want security and privacy? Here it is in spades. Company is listening to your smartphone, TV, and other conversations, then selling them. So let's pop over to phone arena and see what this is all about. Yep, a company is probably listening to your conversations to serve ads. So these are very, very targeted ads, obviously. And this is from December 15th by Anam Hamid. And here's another one. We see stories from him every once in a while on phone arena. So let's go into review, get rid of some of these ads. Now get this, one company can apparently turn your worst nightmare, this is not my worst nightmare, I can think of worse things than this, but I get the point, into reality using the microphone in your smartphone, smart TV, or other devices. So I guess maybe your What your Google products, who knows? To listen to your day-to-day conversations. And this is 404 Media reports that, and this is the company, Cox Media Group, CMG, is pitching a product called Active Listening. So they're selling this to other companies who want to listen to what you're talking about. To customers that can serve ads based on the conversations that people are having within the confines of their four walls, such as a minivan would be perfect for us, or do I see mold on the ceiling? So I guess they could listen to you in your car, in your office, at home, doesn't matter. So pretty invasive. And I think later on they're going to say it's legal. I guess it is, I'm not sure. Apparently, CMG can listen in on conversations through the microphones in smart devices and use them to identify potential customers for various products and services. So, like we're saying, serious targeting here, which means a much better chance of actually getting you to buy something. It's not clear if CMG is already using the tech to eavesdrop, so we don't know if they're using it right now or not on us, but most people would be inclined to believe that given the number of times an ad about a product or service we talk about pops up on the internet. I can't say that I talk about something and all of a sudden I see an ad about it, but I can say, yeah, when I look up something on Facebook or Google or anywhere, yeah, it pops up real quick. So I guess they're saying if you talk about it, the same thing's going to happen. Ethical considerations aside, such a product would help companies identify the exact people who might be interested in their products and eliminate the guesswork. Yes, much more targeting involved with the traditional methods of market segmentation. So they're really getting it down granular now. It's not known if CMG's tech actually works and whether it's already being used. So they don't know. The company is reportedly already scouting for clients, so that tells me it probably works if they're trying to get people to pay for it already, on LinkedIn, and claim that the return on investment is impressive. I'll bet you it is, which means businesses are already using the tech. Somebody's going to sue them over this, I would think. Active Listening's users can select. So these are the companies that are coming after your money, trying to target you with the ads. Active Listening's users can select a territory where they want to use the service with coverage extending up to 10 or 20 miles. So they want to listen on your phone or your TV or your smart speaker or whatever, 10 or 20 miles, you're probably talking thousands or hundreds of thousands of people they can listen to. The service uses AI to detect conversations of interest via smartphones, smart TVs, and other smart devices. So I'm thinking your speakers are going to be in there too. What would it mean for speakers that, of course, have a mic? What would it mean for your business if you could target potential clients who are actively discussing their need for your services in their day-to-day conversation? Yeah, if I was a business owner who needed that, I'd sign up for this in a hurry. No, it's not a Black Mirror episode. It's voice data, and CMG has the capabilities to use it to your business advantage. CMG is saying that. CMG also, get this, also installs a tracking pixel on the website of the client. So I buy it from them, but they're putting a tracking thing on my website so they know when they should get paid. That makes sense. A tracking pixel on the website of clients to monitor the return on investment, the ROI. Of course, that makes sense. The ad will be delivered through display ads, Google and Bing search, YouTube, and streaming services. So any possible way, it sounds like. The goal is to reach exactly those customers who want a particular product and deliver personalized ads that make them think of the product provider as a mind reader. That's pretty awesome. I would think you'd almost be guaranteed to sell these people this product. CMG's website even says that it's legal, and this is the key, for a business to listen to people's conversations. Yeah, there's probably no law against it yet. I would hope there would be soon enough. Is this legal? Yes, it is totally legal for phones and devices to listen to you. They need to change that. That's because consumers usually get consent when accepting terms and they don't give consent for you to listen, I don't think. When accepting terms and conditions of software updates or app downloads. Now, this is important. iPhone users can rest assured that CGM has no access to their conversations, as whenever their microphone is in use, an orange indicator lights up. That's true. When your microphone on your iPhone is in use, it tells you, it shows you by that orange indicator right away. So that's good. So kind of an important story, and yeah, your security is at risk, so they can sell you more targeted ads. Another real interesting story you probably aren't hearing every place else. So let's see, nothing new in the comments. So we're down to our last story. I told you it was going to be an early night, folks. And to me, this is the most fascinating story of the week. Let's see. I hope you all saw my phone of the year article yesterday. Before we get to the last one, my phone of the year video yesterday. Let me make this a little bigger. And that was the OnePlus Open, phone I dearly love. If you haven't seen it, it's out there since yesterday on the Mobile Geezer channel, and I just think this is the awesome phone for 2023. And I did talk about a few runners up that I thought, including a couple of budget phones. I just wanted you guys to know that. So let's get on to the last story of the night. World's first fully autonomous AI-powered restaurant. Humans pack food only, because I originally was writing no humans involved, but humans are there to pack the food and I guess give a friendly face inside the restaurant. Other than that, the humans have no interaction with the food, making it, preparing it, or anything like that. It's fully robot, fully AI. Just wanted you guys to know that. And this was on abc.com. Because the local station in LA reported on it. So, Cali Express in Pasadena touted as world's first fully autonomous AI-powered restaurant. Now, this is from December 16th by Rob Hayes. Yeah, I wonder if I'm related. Okay. Let's go to read a view. Do we look alike? We have the same last name. You can even leave a tip. Now, why you would leave a tip for the robot, I have no idea. I guess you could leave it for the humans packing the food. If you're wondering what the future of fast food is, a Pasadena-based company says it's robots. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised. And it's installed several of them in the soon-to-open restaurant in Pasadena's Old Town. I'm thinking it's already open, but we'll find out as we read. It's not a Terminator. This is what a lady said in the restaurant. It's not Transformers. It's a very friendly, helpful robot, says Elena Abbott, Vice President of Product Development at Miso Robotics, a restaurant automation company, and they're the company that's opening this restaurant. There's nice robotics, there's Roombas, there's things in your house that have become much more a part of daily life. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah, I have a robot vacuum, so I understand. The Cali Express restaurant is slated to open to the public before the end of the year at 561 East Green Street. So this is in Pasadena. So if you, Annette, if you're close to Pasadena, you might be able to go check this place out. The eatery features a hamburger making robot. And in the video, if you go click on this video that's in the story, the reporter from the TV station says it's a good burger. Just wanted you guys to know that. The eatery features a hamburger making robot, a French fry making robot, and uses artificial intelligence to keep the business churning along. To our knowledge, this is the world's first operating restaurant where both ordering and every single cooking process are fully automated, so all done by robots, says John Miller, CEO of Pop ID and board member of Miso Robotics. The marriage of these various technologies to create the most autonomous restaurant in the world is the culmination of years of research, development, and investment in the family of revolutionary companies. So multiple companies to get this done. The restaurant, though, will still feature human employees. There are still humans who will pack the food, Abbott said. We do want somebody to assemble, package the food, and actually be the friendly face to the customer. Yeah, I guess you're not going to get too many robots smiling at you. So I just thought it was a fascinating story. Oh, look. Annette has answered. Annette says, okay. She's asking me a question. But first, I want to get to here. She said Pasadena is about 25 miles. Now, Annette, I'm going to beg you, whenever you get a chance with your family, take a ride over to Pasadena. Let's go up and get the name of this restaurant again. Cali Express. Taking this out of reader view. Okay. Oh, go back to my, okay, yeah. Cali Express. This is the old building they put it in. So, Annette, if you and your family could get over to Cali Express and let us know what you think about these robot-made burgers. Here, it says robot-made burgers and fries. It'd be awesome. I would love it if you get back to us next week or next year and let us know what you think. That would be awesome. So I just thought it was if I were close to there, I would definitely go check out this place. So, guys, we can all try to put pressure on Annette and her family to go check out these burgers for us. Anyway, I think it's awesome that the idea is there, and I think it's awesome that Annette is letting us know. Annette is so kind. She says, we can go check it out. Oh, you're so very kind. It would be awesome. We would all appreciate that very much. I believe we'd all appreciate it. And going back to my, let's see, let me get rid of the stories here. Stop screen. And going back to my phone of the year, and that says you like the OnePlus Fold better than the Samsung. Now, if you watch my video, I haven't had any of the Samsung folding phones. I've had the Flip 3 and a Flip 4, but not the folding phones. So, as I mentioned in the video, this is based on what everybody, all the other guys that have had both the folding phones and the OnePlus Open, pretty much everybody prefers the OnePlus Open. So, but for me, I love this phone, and it's what, $100 cheaper, $1,700 than the Samsungs, which are $1,800. So, and that says we will be in Pasadena. Oh yeah, you'll be at the Rose Bowl parade floats. Cool. So hopefully Annette and her family, when they're checking out the Rose Bowl floats, will let us know what Cali Express. Now I hope it's not packed around the block, but who knows? But in any case, very kind of you, Annette. We would all very much appreciate it. And I'd like to just hear if the reporter is right that the hamburger is really good, because in the in the article, and if we go back to the article, can't play it, but there is here there is a video, and there's an ad first, of course, but the reporter did say the burger was really good. So very kind of Annette, and that's that kind of person. She's just kind to us. She's saying maybe I should get me a OnePlus Fold. Well, I would highly, highly recommend it. Now, you've heard me highly recommend other phones before. this would probably be way up the top of the highest recommendations I've ever made. There are a couple of people having a few little issues with it. I have had zero issues with mine. Everything has worked perfectly. Just got the December update today because I was riding around at work and I was sitting in the back of the van and I saw Jay Will had said he had gotten the December update. So I got here tonight and I got my December update for it too. But yes, I would highly recommend the OnePlus Open. I think it's a great, great phone, great tablet. It's awesome to watch stuff on, so to consume stuff on. So, and keep in mind, if you go to the website right away, see if I can go to the website. It lists for $1,700, but right away you get off $200. See, I'm gonna go to OnePlus. So if you click on that website, present screen. So if you go to the website, it's supposedly listed $1,700. Well, what's the first thing you see? $1,500, which is great. And like I said, the reason I traded in my Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is because I got 700. So between that and the 200 off, so I had $900 off right off the bat. So if you have a good high-end phone you can trade in that, you're going to get a nice chunk of money off. And I say once you get whatever you're going to get off for your trade-in, this phone is definitely worth it. So couldn't recommend it any higher. Okay, so thanks to Annette. Hopefully next time, week after next, I would guess, after the Rose Bowl parade, Annette and her family will let us know how good these burgers were made by the robots. So that's tonight's show, folks. I knew probably none of the guys would be able to get in. Let's see, and it's saying definitely checking this phone out. Thank you. Yeah, I would think you'll be very pleased with it. It is awesome. So nobody came in as we expected. Everybody's busy. In Ted and Mike's case, they're busy making money. Well, I guess Will's busy making money too because he worked at one job all week and now he'll be working he works like 48 hours straight between Saturday and Sunday on his weekend jobs. Guy works a lot. So I hope everybody has a blessed weekend. And of course, this weekend, Monday, I hope everybody has a very, very Merry Christmas. And I know I'm off on Monday. Eleanor's off on Monday. So hopefully we'll have a great Christmas. And I hope you guys have a very blessed Christmas. And we will see you next week. And tune in next week because I have kind of a very special guest who will be here with me. So you'll have to tune in to check it out. So Merry Christmas to everybody. And as I always say, we all do better when we love each other. See you next week, folks.